The Darksaber is the most unique lightsaber in all of Star Wars. Shaped like a katana and black as night, the weapon was forged during the Old Republic by the only Mandalorian to ever be inducted into the Jedi Order. Following years of conflict, the Darksaber has been passed through the hands of many a key player in the Star Wars franchise and is currently playing a key role in the second season of The Mandalorian. I'm Ewan from What Culture Star Wars, and here is every Star Wars character who wielded the Darksaber. Number 7. Tarre Vizsla. The first person to ever wield the Darksaber was Tarre Vizsla, who was the first Mandalorian to be inducted into the Jedi Order. As with all Jedi, he was sent to create his own lightsaber during his training, but chose to disregard convention and make a blade made of pure black. Even the sound it made was distinctive of the blade, more high-pitched than a regular saber. Tarre Vizsla used the Darksaber during his time as a Jedi to lead his people, causing his weapon to become a symbol of power and leadership on Mandalore. When he died, the Darksaber was kept in the Jedi Temple until the fall of the Old Republic, when House Vizsla of Mandalore fell into conflict with the Order and stole the Darksaber from the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Back in possession of the Vizsla clan, the weapon united Mandalore once more and was passed from generation to generation for years to come. Number 6. Tarre Vizsla. During the Clone Wars, the Darksaber was wielded by Tarre Vizsla, governor of Concordia, a moon of Mandalore, and leader of the terrorist group known as Death Watch. After his secret operations were revealed by Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, Vizsla dueled him with the saber, showing it in action for the first time. He also later dueled Ahsoka Tano. Vizsla, who is actually voiced by Mandalorian showrunner Jon Favreau, kept the weapon in his possession for the vast majority of the Clone Wars, and still held it when he and his men, with the help of former Sith Lord Maul and his brother Savage Opress, finally took control of Mandalore once more. His time with the lightsaber came to an end shortly after the beginning of his short reign, when he betrayed the two brothers and had them imprisoned. The pair later escaped and Maul dueled Vizsla in a fight to the death, which Maul won easily, giving the former Sith apprentice both the Darksaber and control over Mandalore itself. Number 5. Maul. After killing Tarre Vizsla in single combat, because that's the kind of extra fellow Maul is, Maul took control of Mandalore and used the Darksaber as his own. Using former Prime Minister Almec as the face of his rule, the powerful former Sith began ruling the planet from the shadows, hoping to create an empire of his own. During this time, he lured his mortal enemy, Obi-Wan Kenobi, to the planet and killed his old flame Duchess Satine before his very eyes. He later used the Darksaber in a duel with his former master, Darth Sidious, who killed Savage Opress and eventually bested his old apprentice. After being taken by his master, the saber was recovered by Almec, and Maul ended up using it in a duel against General Grievous. After this, the Darksaber was stored on Dathomir in the lair of the Night Sisters, and Maul returned to Mandalore without it in the final days of the Republic. Number 4. Ezra Bridger and Kanan Jarrus. Neither Ezra or Kanan were ever in full possession of the Darksaber, instead using it only briefly before it was passed to its next true wielder in the final days of the Empire. Still hidden away on Dathomir during the reign of the Empire, Maul led Ezra to its hideout in the hopes of completing a ritual that would lead him to his lifelong nemesis, Obi-Wan Kenobi. During the ritual, the two were attacked by the spirits of the Night Sisters, and Ezra used the Darksaber to destroy the altar from which they were emerging. The Mandalorian Sabine Wren briefly took the Darksaber thereafter, learning of its significance but questioning whether she was truly worthy of using it. She passed it off for Kanan to use instead, saying she could not wield it, and Kanan held onto it only until he finally decided that Sabine would be ready to face her destiny and unite the clans of Mandalore against the Empire. Number 3. Sabine Wren. After having the Darksaber given back to her by Kanan, Sabine Wren began to take lessons on how to use it from both Kanan and Ezra. Realizing the weapon could reunite her people, Sabine, of Clan Wren, accepted the weapon and the Darksaber found itself in Mandalorian hands for the first time since the Clone Wars. On a daring mission to save Mandalore from the Empire, Sabine's worthiness was questioned when it was revealed that she'd never defeated Maul, its last legitimate user, in combat. There, the saber fell briefly into the hands of Gar Saxon, a former member of Death Watch who served the Emperor after the Jedi Purge. His time with the saber wasn't for long either though, as Sabine defeated him in combat using Ezra's own lightsaber, although refusing to kill him when the opportunity arose. Saxon was killed instead by Ursa Wren, Sabine's estranged mother, and Sabine became the true master of the Darksaber and the leader of a partially liberated Mandalore. Number 2. Bo-Katan Kryze. Though she had literally just proven herself, Sabine gave the Darksaber to Bo-Katan Kryze, the sister of the late Duchess Satine, who had watched Maul kill Tarre Vizsla during the Clone Wars. Following the death of Vizsla and Satine, Bo-Katan spent the final days of the Republic leading a rebellion against Maul's rule. After the Siege of Mandalore, which was led by herself and former Jedi Ahsoka Tano, she became the leader of the planet, but her rule was short-lived as the Empire took hold and war erupted once more. During the rise of the Empire, she led a resistance against Mandalore's occupation, which we see take full shape in Star Wars Rebels. After Mandalore was liberated, she questioned whether she was truly worthy of the Darksaber, considering herself a failure, but eventually took it when her people voiced their support. Sometime before the end of the Empire, Mandalore was laid to waste in the Great Purge, the event referenced multiple times in The Mandalorian, with many of Bo-Katan's people killed. During the Purge, she lost the Darksaber to the Imperial Moff Gideon, although the exact specifics of how it came to be in Gideon's possession is, at the time of recording, still unclear. She's currently building a Mandalorian coalition to reclaim the Darksaber from Gideon, and unite Mandalore under her rule once more. And number 1. Moff Gideon. The exact circumstances in which Imperial leader Moff Gideon got his hands on the Darksaber are not yet known. Again, at the time of recording, I'm expecting the Mandalorian to resolve this in due course, but it can be assumed he retrieved it during the Great Purge that decimated Mandalore during the time of the Empire. Gideon himself is a fairly mysterious character. Once a high-ranking officer in the Empire, he faked his death and has since been in the command of a small army of stormtroopers. He is currently out to retrieve the child, but much of his backstory has yet to be explored. The Darksaber is first seen in his possession at the very end of The Mandalorian's first season, using it to escape the wreckage of his fallen TIE fighter. Currently, he is in the crosshairs of Bo-Katan Kryze, and their rivalry, as well as the continued story of the Darksaber, is set to play a major role in the rest of The Mandalorian. And just to test my own powers of clairvoyance and Jedi visionary, I do predict that Din Djarin will duel Moff Gideon using his own Beskar spear, retrieve the Darksaber, and become the rightful Mandalore. Maybe. And that was everyone who ever wielded the Darksaber at the time of recording. Who do you think will be the next to wield it? Let us know in the comments below, and hey, while you're down there, permit me to do my best mind trick hand gesture thing and convince you to subscribe to What Culture Star Wars. We've got so much cool stuff planned to do with the galaxy far, far away, including lists, news, podcasts, and more, and we're gearing up for another huge year of Star Wars in 2021, with the High Republic, the Bad Batch animated series, and more set to arrive. That's all for now though, take care, and may the Force be with you.